Napo waye inputu nyuma bebre e Kumasi because I'm for say on to me rally support Emma MPP to me nkunim die 2020.
Yeah, answer the omo right so moka but ume obi a wundi oye so obi a na wundi oye and am moka nyina excuse me omo nyina NDT for and am mutu vutro ina yakoye advice ujina chire na otobon cause o chia bobo na oye den obe because no ma your life system na nye say we maintain no education no o maintain no eti edu bi government di man no oye eti kana for problem no say ye money nko obetima ye eti na ye nipa pempum besi wo no ye to say ye to aba ye fama no eti de omo kan nyina ne say tro no musuro all that mancho wade kakra 2012 na on say baumia no to bo amboro ko na ndi for take egufo ado a no ye din eti are ye ma baumia nya confuse eti om take Napo a na baumia fa nko eti ta on be hu say o ma mi say go no na eti akonya ne so what am I saying?
No, they are sure say MPP for breaking
breaking on ABC and the best ABC Ghana ye break we are and this intima power biom because obi assembly na adu ye do bia na adu mudo bia no and mu say the MPP aye no MPP and this nye bi so unza so what Ghana say say ade bia ye pe Ghana bia no e the computer na ye enya fe na ko laptop uko tana be bia a check wade e mo bi meju sika nko ana Ghana fo ni mu a Ghana obi a bezo bunu nyanko ba ye mo mu Ghana ba mi aye obi a na adwon mu do etu o so wade bia o ye passport kura na ye no phone so Ghana card no open bosi access na koje lances oka lances ye no phone so e dia bi na mo bezo ye late kura no ye to no ye phone so e dia bi na end for betum dia ba o mu ni break 2024 economy no mo kanu economy no e wo order akronfo ntina sa de na jai because e ko bantima ni e to petrol ma de che krofro ye to petrol ma de ba akronfo ntina e jai what must say it is an etie empire ye born say adwuma papa we mu de agu kwan mu no ye ni ejidie wo mu no so no ye be ya magana for say ehun say ombe dan me din di Robert Champion ofolu secretary. Thank you very much.
What do you make of the Baumia Napo combination going into 2024 elections?
Oh, I can't talk a lot about it, but what I can talk right now is no one can challenge the two of them. I know they have already breaking the heat already. That's what I can say about it.
Looking at his track record, do you think Napo is the perfect match for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia in breaking the heat?
He's the perfect man for it. It's true. Everyone have to take his vote for her. So this Asante region, I'm talking for Asante region as chairman in Ralph. But what I can say right now is it's a good way for a lot of Asante region to take his vote away. A lot of people is proud of what is going on right now. So I want a lot of people to get a lot of proud to take a good heart for us to take it together. So if there's a prior a kabomwa emu na say a channel ho ba ko pa ebu nti si ye kabomu ye na say ye taking ye mai ya bibie ni we betime si ye makwan o se nyina kan hu bom ni ehwe ni ne man ye ma ye den ejina yie na de mputuo be ye den ebeba ade ye me ya ne say ubeba be ya de na wo kɔ nanim na fe be wi ase no obi ntimi nya den ento aso bi eno ni ade kase am hu say edi ye man mu nya kase pa yi de bia na ma ebesia bonkwa na me hu say ekoso o man Mnanso no se me hunu se ye nyina timi ka bom na se man putuo no kusu breaki 8 no yes I follow timi koye nimu a minim se ya de se edim putuo beba o man mu ye kase pa de ma santeman ne o man ni nyina atwa o man no nyina ye den ehia within the breaking day within Emmanuel Amoa
All right, so it's the official outdooring of Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the MP for Mensha, who is now the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for the 2024 general election on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. And I have here with me some old folks who have thronged here at the Jubilee Park to witness this colorful event. And so we'll be picking their thoughts on why they think the two stand as a formidable force to breaking the 8 in the upcoming 2024 general elections. And me mami we ha menene ebe tutun komo kakra abesa ne ntia ohwa Bawumia any Napo betumi abreki 8 na ma MPP for no ma
minime say Bawumia one ne vice de betumi abreki 8 you bet me a break 8. You may say one month, yeah, bar, woman, and you bet me a poor money ye. To me about me and Napo dear, me tie a chit is a condom, tie a cheaper.
Oh, business is booming very, very well.
Bawumia na kwa because Nana do I be pa. Nana do ya me baby go school your mama time me one one from me mama man school fees on tia mama go canteen if na re wa come sadi we me say bin see that Nana buy.
Oh, business is booming very, very well.
Make of the combination of Dr. Matthew Pokupempe and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia going into the 2024 election, their chances?
Well, first of all, we are grateful that this has come to an end, where now we have been able to show the country and the world that this is the choice that Dr. Bawumia has deliberated on. I think as for Dr. Bawumia, it's already settled. But with regard to your question concerning Napo as a complementary running mate, I think that one, Dr. Bawumia has made the choice. It is his prerogative, so we all accept it. Now, apart from that, we all know the stature of Napo in Ashanti region. We all know the way he was able to perform even in the primaries for Dr. Bawumia. And I'm sure you also saw the recent services survey where an NIB report showed that Dr. Napo was the most preferred candidate. With all of that aside, what we want is unity. Our victory 2024. Bawumia is a very nice gentleman, very brilliant, excellent delivery, a performer. Just as Napo has been the party from childhood, and he knows what his elderly people did to win seats for us, and now it is his turn to get his votes to support Bawumia in the north.
Regional chairpersons. Yes. The next president. Of the Republic. What do Jubilee Park have? What do Jubilee Park have? The next president of the Doctors are suffering, civil servants are suffering, and farmers are suffering. Fishermen are suffering, and industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering, and Kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering, and men are suffering. Women are suffering, and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
16 years today, the same history is going to introduce in this park. Chobai, 16 years today, the same history is going to introduce in this park. Chobai.
Hey, Oswego. Are you Stephen and Team down? Any Abai? A man begging for so and Chief of Staff, the ministers in Penny that's a thing. Wowing Ghana and Brian, the attitude of my HSA Ghana Libya. The flock and I guess it will be full in premium. Now, breast one, as he said, Toby or Babesha. If you don't make your quiet to my phone, you know, if you don't follow my copet, I don't know, and that's your way, yeah, we are recording, so give me a moment. I'm going to put it close on my phone. 8 years, if you're watching me, then I hear Juma. Our woman wants to get brave. I don't know you can be a kind of I know the area is about breaking the eight. American, will be a Jumana Ghana for Adaroma, the Baba selling Sally. A bit to me, I you, Papa. Yamaye, it will be about the cow, and my blessing, and my Ghana, and Tumpo. The Baba says, although I can't say that I want to live Kubi. And so, no beer, or bedtime, Benana baby, here, Nakopo Makwina, Bana Fla, and only baby or mine as vice president. Only yes, age, my. One for baby out. I am no Sunday Jamie, and I'm a Siasa. A minister, so our mother, or no, and I hear Nabia, a National Council. If you buy I could say a person, the Bia and National Council, or can say, baby, and Fata. Unanimous of the National Council. I can say Napo, Matthew, Poco, Pempe, and Fata. So no, another other can. You are. And it is for the end of that part and say, not a millionaire, and then you will be actually. I'm not saying no one here, Juma. It will be a minimum. While one day, and it will limit me here.
So, me bed, my cousin, what them tuneful. That's my main control. My Dr. Baumia no so you are. And my no so you are. Oh, quite no quite some panel dinner, China, your bachelor one was all year. Them no, I can't damn America. Paho Brassier, put the actually and the camera, mammy. Your city and that you are no bachelor one a year.
MPP party. Now do that kwaku fuado. Odon kwa the president wa ba efi watching e komo mada. Meboa. Efi watching e komo nyane. Ewiase nyina chi kom no na Ghana wo dey aduane. Wo me ade nyame ase. Nyame aye bia ma party no. Do na wa say. Be the kind and them must have I have the word dream ye. So your babu now MPP. I saw my catch and say, Osum sompa ubako wenim. Osum sompa ubako wenim. Oya test on you, Oya Sadwa Jumo, Osum sompa oya day uko wenim. There a bit of the gun I called through ya. And then it does one, you know. And now the Danko Fuadu Abba, I'm on this to a soya day, Abba. Son and Yamiba Wamado Tabomiaba, not that was if ye, Papa in your head, Yatsnam. Etienne, Bijaha. Bunina, ye come home. Then another Danko Fuadu, I say, no, I yabi, Yamia for Swasha, Ghana for you. He, Yafe, Yafe. So ya papa no abobra na wa wuba na wuba no abedi wade na odi tapade na ire akọ nim na do dan kwakufu ado awu Dr. Baumia ama na Ghana fo nyina o se bakọ ya no ho efe na ho akono ya di Ghana ni ma ya dai eye ya ti MPP kroi ebi sida ya nyina ya be ka bo ma bia ya adwumaden afiwe I'm Yashan and another Kwakufuado. If you say, I don't cry, Dr. Baumia, or Beba, a bit see why people da Ghana, Yachi, Ghana, Bakosama. President Kufuado to call retirement. But if the Mr. Kessi will say, a free say Ghana from 1957. Ebekane, you're President Bia Wabua Ghana Chen and another Kwakufuado. Messi, a free 1957. Bakanya, Mofamo Kwame Krumano, Mofamo Obia, the Wabadi Mampania, what Bogana who buy, and the Ghana Konanim, China, another Dankwa, Akufuado. Yeah, Mania Kono, it's in Yaha, Yamadi, see 2008, the Disney. Chama which we can, I mean, Castle. The Abaya di Bonyam, Sanana Dubaka, Adako, November, not 7 January. What's so on the Oktober of your son? Maybe the Yaba. And not my daddy told you. It was a July, but our brother Shabuma, Nagana, I couldn't name. Monsieur Babu, we are Brancher, Nawaha, go down to my Dr. Baumia. Monsieur Onda Chinti, Yadai, Onda Chinti, Yadai, Muntia Samba, and Yakotanania, England, English Abroche. Padima Kuba is never to the Blair. Fufu about the father Castama, to the blessing Castama, a full job of Dima. Digitization, Bahama say Obama England for the national ID card. We go, I've the English Abroche, I've national ID card, and now the Nadi Kwakufado, you talked about it. Who said, I call no yare, your colony. Now, Kabom, I ain't the Kabom, then you had a Kojinim, 9 day, Abba. More Bia Santibem, Ekasa, BBSC, BBSC, the embassy, Dr. Baumia, and then Dr. Napo, who made the first one crank and him, no one didn't have to cook for it. Now, by a so many hours sentimenta. Now, I have to a baby. Now, I could put my shop for better in the park. I could teach my MPP. Now, MPP 90%. No call for any embassy, now to be mobile. Obia Shariwaka, Obia Obia another school for another Mudi. A baby, my and your school where you must have another that could for the other Tabavia. But today, a baby, now Kumasi man for the next shire. What's the idea? She cry in Marco school day. Then I hear Marco say, if you're 9 kind of near the Sumu, Tom Mama say near the Sumu, then I do stand quite to say that deal. Now say no school, no more call it free. One go school, one did it free. Or you be senior, or go school did it. School fees the chair, school attire the shadow, textbooks and the manual. Hey, and child crowd, because I talk crowd, teacher all this guy they talk about training. And then talk a boo. And the idea of school hours they make you actually go for no more school for the other. Remember? I buy the channel that could follow me. It's in the shadow. You're free hair. And you are doing your and then the ambassador that's you. But I'm saying politics here. But see that the ambassador be there. So what test call now? What test call now? As Antibema. I buy a moment of future. I know by the MPP.
Future. And yeah, what choice was I election? Say, if I say a queen, Manasa, if I say a Saichi. Yeah, queen, Manasa, a queen. Because election is a choice between former President John Mahama and a current flag bearer and Vice President Dr. Baumia. That is the choice. The choice between the future and the past. The past president, one president, and he failed. Maybe a vice president, maybe the president, but Obiya said, I am the most
$1, 1 CD. In the time of Mills and Mahama, 2 CDs, $1. If I was them, I would say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done. We're going to go and think about ourselves. But that is not the people we're dealing with. The fruits of office, the money under the table has become sweet for them, so they're determined to stay. Are we going to allow that to happen? Are we going to allow that to happen? In Kufuor's time, one of the people who advised and helped him develop a strong CD was my running mate, Muhammadu Bawumia. Then he was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. It's one of the reasons I brought him to come and join me, that we will work on the CD and create again a strong CD that will be able to allow us to develop our economy and allow our traders and our banks to be able to develop.
What is the difference?
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
we shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Wednesday, the 10th day of July 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic, Napo unveiled. Okay. Would Unleashed have been a better description? Anyway. Ongoing BEC, 16 teachers busted for infractions. 5 bid to invest $100 million in Saglemi project. Oasis Capital raises $100 million to support SMEs. The Ghanaian Times, VRA ponders Akosombo Dam spillage again. Seeks to engage stakeholders in catchment areas on exercise. Napo unveiled as vice presidential candidate of NPP in Kumasi. Proposed GSA cement price regulation recipe for disaster. Chamber of Cement Manufacturers. Probe Aflao ladies assault by immigration personnel. Speaker asks Interior Minister. Daily Guide. Bia and Napo shake Kumasi. Cement price control. Kokuma cries foul. Nana commends German government. Please pursue 7 over NPP Ayawaso West office attack. The New Crusading Guide. Napo is results-oriented. Baumia tells NPP supporters. Be a listening servant to Baumia. Otunfo to Poku Prempe. Let's be united and win 2024. Kenejepon to NPP. Ninuete Amobi II remains legitimate chief of Apollonia. Lawyers declare. Are lawyers those who declare who's legitimate or not? A testimony to Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe, a leader of unparalleled dedication and integrity. GHA launches 50th anniversary, unveils anniversary logo. The insight. Economic hardship. Why fuel prices are affecting cost of living in Ghana. We are not in price regime. Guta warns government against moves to regulate cement prices. The next government will choke under heavy debt burden, Setekpe predicts. 100th protest NATO summit in Washington, D.C. The Informer. Echoes of many ways to kill a cat. Sami Jemfi threatens CJ with impeachment. Fight against corruption. OSP applauded for job well done. Proposed free SHS bill. Government must consult widely. JNAPS. We're confident in security agencies, EC declares. Pledges commitment to transparent elections. Making LPG affordable and accessible. NPA targets tax reduction. CEO reveals. The Inquisitor. Outdooring of NPP presidential ticket. DMB Napo set Kumasi agog. Candidate says his running mate is a problem solver. 20 takeaways from GM's media encounter. Dismissed policeman who jumped bail 5 years ago for defilement arrested at airport. Snake boss exposes Freddie Blay. Nano Usu to win Menchia South NPP primaries. The Herald. Asantini warns Napo of arrogant label. Don't make Baumia regret choosing you as running mate. Bona's family got Momo from me regularly. Ioko boss reveals closeness and denies threat. Akufo-Addo allowed cousin of Reata to damage economy. Mahama. YEA boss comments youth in a Greek program. Doomsor situation under firm control, says Herbert Krapper at Vetting. The Daily Statesman. Go and serve Baumia in humility. Asantini charges Napo. Educhum Lords WAEC's efforts against exam malpractice. Manchester NPP Youth Tescon reaffirm commitment. Baumia, Napo is result-oriented. The Daily Searchlight. Mahama's hopeless pledges glitz Ghana's planned media. Imams demand Islamic Succession Act. Dr. Educhum praises WAEC for efforts towards curtailing exam malpractice. We have enough to showcase to Ghanaians. Fatima to Abubakar. Wenchi, special needs student, uses mouth to write BC. The Ghanaian publisher, Baumia Napo, Ghana's future. Nana, Asante Initu Napo, don't make Baumia regret choosing you. Senate wants to improve its investment returns. Osafumafo. 5 companies bid for Saglemi project. The Accra Times. Mahama debunks Akufo-Addo NPP free SHS lies. Insists I can't cancel what I introduced. Afenyo marking blast NDC. Allow state institutions to grow. MPs impressed with Buankra project. Task the contractor to do a good work. Not the MP8 BEC candidates. Professor S. Kweku Asare punches CJ Tokonu in his latest article titled The Imperial CJ Strikes Again. The Custodian. Napo is results-oriented. Baumia declares. Otumfuo Akufo-Addo bear testimonies. Hotel share sales to improve profitability. SNET. Private investor to take over Saglemi housing project. The New Finder. Napo is a problem solver. Dr. Baumia reveals while Otumfuo urges submission. 2024 BCE. ECG disconnects power to sue home JHS over debt. Government to showcase infrastructural projects. Cement dealers absorb 35 cities of cost amid economic challenges. Daily Post. 11 CSOs. Rubbish Napo. They describe him as a tribalist, arrogant, corrupt, and incompetent. Ranting and shouting Napo proves in his speech that he's empty after he was unveiled as Baumia's running mate. ENI Vitor case. Ghana ordered to pay 189,000 euros court fee to claimants. Lack of textbooks for BEC students since 2019. An embarrassment. A pack. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN Rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and Momo More, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN. Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
Prepare your bantama.
Matias.
Cycle.
Her smile, the fresh breath.
Me Gidi say we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
Gaskia, Cal 360 toothpaste.
It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa. Kile hosen. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see feeling ye. Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Customer, I don't know who was to say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more man, still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. What lost so give us here and turn down.
What's over that song? But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us a bad message.
Me patron the and turn down.
Customer. Give us a turn down. Back.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no banu fo nom akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso no.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still on point.
It's creamy.
For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Bet, blast, boom! Exclusively on Betway. Win up to 300% more when you play Fly X with Win Boost from Betway. Betway, get way more.
Mother Papa is working.
Bia Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bia Herbal Hospital. Baby, a saga with Bia. And so, Yadi Sapa, a dompemu yadi.
Spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bia Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bia Herbal Hospital.
Star 712.
Which are this? Mommy no Greece. Yeah, and now you were back in Greece. To say why you fit a millionaire. Yes, the luckiest at Aroma. To say about from Massa HM. Yeah. No,
Now check this. Sister Abna, aka Kogi Hima. The luckiest at the room. Queen B.
Yeah.
Boss lady Baku Pet. Let's go. Hold on to your seats, folks. Such anyway, it'll be you smooth. Way and your friend will upgrade. Luckiest at the room. And the best part, that with the luckiest, Obia or a shot to a good life. And I'm talking to you, me, your girlfriend, your ex, your neighbors, your landlords, and even Goro boys. And no one is over dialing with lucky number. Star 712 hash. Now the
Oswald ticket to win in the community draw or the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have the editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr. Kwesi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Also with me on the show this morning is the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Anya Soutum constituency, who's also a medical practitioner, Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Right. Yeah. July is SME Month. If you own a small or medium-sized business, get ready for an exciting month ahead as MTN Ghana brings you a host of exciting events carefully planned for SMEs across the regions. Businesses will be given the opportunity to set up at the MTN head office at the SME pop-up event from the 4th to the 30th of July. So it started. There will be quizzes on the social media pages of MTN with exciting prizes to be won. There will be developmental and capacity training for SMEs across the regions. There will be promotions and major discounts on MTN's products to boost your pocket and your business. The month's activities will be capped by SME fairs on July 18th to 20th at the Tetekwashi Interchange Triangle and on July 26th to 28th at the KJTIA Market. Don't miss out on an open invitation to gain access to top-notch solutions, exposure to partners, and an opportunity to put your business on the map. Be part of MTN SME Month 2024. And you can contact MTN today by calling or WhatsApping 0244 308 111 to know more. So 0244 308 111. You can call or WhatsApp to know more about the MTN SME Month 2024, which started from the 4th of July and will end on the 30th of July. Now, if you're thinking of getting that toothpaste that will take care of the entire family and save you some money, the recommended family toothpaste is Kel 360 toothpaste. It's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using Kel 360 toothpaste. Kel 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use Kel 360 toothpaste. It's another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. Kel 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging, irrespective of your age, but worry no more. Lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakumon or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. All right. Kwesi, were you at the John Dramani Mahama Media Encounter on Sunday?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. You weren't invited?
I was invited, but I was in Wa.
Oh, okay.
I was speaking in Wa, and I couldn't attend.
You are still speaking around the world?
I mean, this had been postponed for about 3 times.
Okay.
And I felt embarrassed, so I went on Sunday, came back on Monday.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity of watching?
I watch excerpts.
Okay.
I watch excerpts, I watch excerpts. And there were 2 things that troubled me.
Troubled you?
That troubled me.
Okay.
One, actually, in the program itself.
Okay.
The former president was asked a question about whether he will continue to be father for all. And I was not happy with his answer.
What was the answer and why were you not happy?
Well, he claimed that he had been exercised, which meant that he would not be father for all. Now, the duty of every president is to serve all Ghanaians, irrespective of their party affiliation. That's a cardinal duty of every president. So it is not his choice to be father for all or not father for all. The very position he's seeking to occupy, insists that he has to take care of all the interests of Ghanaians and treat Ghanaians equally, regardless of their party affiliation. That's his obligation. You understand? I understand that he's come under a lot of pressure from party foot soldiers and so on, who say that this time there should be no father for all and so on. And that's what he's responding to. But
let me find out from you.
Yes.
The second part of your submission, that is come under pressure from party people and others about the father for all. Does that suggest that those people hold a definition different from yours when it comes to the tag father for all?
I don't think that's a problem of definition. It's a problem of understanding our system of governance. It's a problem of understanding what the responsibilities of a president are, and so on. A president has to be fair to all, including those who oppose him, including those who wish him ill, and so on. You can't be a president and say that I will not be father for all. What kind of president would you be then? So understand the kind of pressures that he is under. But I think that his response is not appropriate. His response, I think, is bad. And that needs to be reviewed. Look, rather than accepting what party foot soldiers and so on are saying as a means of galvanizing their support and so on, I think some effort needs to be spent on educating party foot soldiers and so on to understand that the president is the president of Ghana. If he becomes president, he will not be president of the NDC. You understand? So I was a bit worried about that. Of course, this is not new. It's been happening over a long period of time, over the last 4 years. Party foot soldiers, even party executives and so on, have been insisting that should they win elections, that posture of former President Mills should be abandoned and so on. They cannot abandon it. If you want the power of government to be entrusted into your hands. If you want to be a president, you have no option to being father for all. It's an imperative. It is an imperative. You have no choice. You understand? So I think that needs to be explained, and they need to review that position. Something else which didn't come directly from his engagement with the media, but which sprang out of the media, of the media encounter, has been this issue of the possibility of a debate. And whether he should engage in a debate with Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, who is the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. And I've heard a lot of party people say that he should not engage in a debate. And I'm wondering why? Why not? Why not? Any attempt to avoid a debate will create an unnecessary and harmful impression for many people in the streets and so on. If you don't take part in a debate, the conclusion is that you cannot hold your own, you cannot defend your stance, and so on. So I think it would be a terrible mistake, really terrible mistake, if former President John Dramani Mahama is forced, to pull out of any debate. And I think it's going to be such a terrible mistake because John Mahama is an extraordinary individual, and you know him. Everybody who knows him, he can think on his feet. He has all his facts at his fingertips. And he seldom makes groups, So he's a good debater. I mean, look, even against current President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, so he did very, very well. And one of the strong points of Nana Akufo-Addo then was his eloquence. You understand? And John Mahama came up very, very strongly. I think that against somebody like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it will be a walkover for him. And nobody should dissuade him from participating in the debate. I mean, if you know him, I've known him for some time.
Would you moderate it?
Who?
Would you moderate
Me?
it? Yeah.
I don't think I'll be invited to moderate it. It's not a job that I'm looking for.
Should it happen, would you?
I don't even want to think about it, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
But the point I'm making is that it will be a huge mistake if he refuses to debate Mahmoud Bawumia and so on. I think it would be a very big mistake,
What do you say to this? On the 21st of October, 2016, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the MPP vice presidential candidate. He's advised President John Mahama to try debating ordinary Ghanaians who, over the course of 8 years, have become victims of his incompetent governance and who have seen a drastic worsening in their living and working conditions under the NDC. Now, speaking in Sangban, in the Tatale Sanguli constituency in the northern region, it was a Friday. It says, quote, "The president says he likes evidence. The evidence, however, shows that since 2000, his tenure as president from 2012 to 2016, he has been the worst performing president in terms of Ghana's economy. And that is the evidence, as I showed in my recent lecture." In obvious response to President Mahama's newfound appetite for a debate, Dr. Bawumia advised the president to try debating the people of Ghana in various sectors, as the people are in the best position to tell him how his governance has impacted on their lives. Quote, "Today, John Mahama says he wants a debate on the economy. Now I want to challenge him to come to Sangban and debate with the people of Sangban on the economy. He should tell the people of Sangban what he has done for them in the last 8 years, 4 years as vice president and 4 years as president. He should tell the people of northern Ghana what he did with the SADA money. He should go and debate with businesses that have collapsed because of Dumso. He should debate with farmers who cannot buy fertilizers because of his policies. He should go and debate with businessmen who cannot access loans because of high interest rates. Now he says that he should debate with teacher trainees who are not paid allowances because his government has refused to pay the allowances. He should go and debate nursing trainees. He should debate the unemployed. Our youth who cannot find jobs because the economy under him is collapsing. He should go and debate cocoa farmers whose farms are collapsing because of the collapse of the mass cocoa spraying program. he should certainly debate with people who cannot afford to pay electricity bills or water bills. And touching on the failure of the government to respond to his September 8th lecture on the state of the Ghanaian economy, Dr. Bawumia observed that the government has not been able to respond to that lecture because they cannot stand the truth. Quote, the president should go and debate with the people of Ghana who are suffering. That is where the real debate is. When I presented my last lecture on the economy, I presented facts and figures. I made 170 statements, at least in that lecture. Now, instead of responding to that lecture, he and his vice president are running away from those facts. If they want a debate on the economy, they should start with responding to those 170 facts in my lecture. They don't want to because they cannot. They cannot stand the truth. They cannot stand the facts. End of quote.
You know, Randy, I mean, this morning, I was having a WhatsApp conversation with our friend, Kwame Sefakai. Last night, indeed around 11 p.m., I saw a post of a leaflet with a statement attributed to him that he did not go to the John Mahama press engagement because he was afraid that he would be sacked as a member of the board of the Energy Commission or something to that effect. And I sent it to him. And his response was that, look, we are in the silly season.
Yes.
I mean, the first time that this thing really struck me, this thing about silly season. There's a season in which otherwise reasonable men and women lose it completely.
They go lose it.
They lose it completely. And they talk a lot of balderdash. You understand? And I think that perhaps this is one of those seasons, you know. This whole idea that if former President John Dramani Mahama wanted a debate, he should go and debate cocoa farmers and taxi drivers and so on. Really? I mean, really? Who has his head screwed on properly? Who can say these things? The debate is for ordinary Ghanaian people, those who are going to vote and so on, to weigh the contestants, to see what they bring, to see their vision, to see whether they are truthful to facts and so on, so that they can cast their votes properly. The debate is not between presidential candidates and vulcanizers and cocoa farmers and palm wine tappers and so on. That's not what the debate is about. It's a presidential debate. Yeah. And I think that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was completely wrong then. Completely wrong and justified. His position was completely unjustified. And anybody who holds that position today falls into the same category as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Anybody. You understand? Now, why, Randy, something is beating me. It's actually killing me. Why do our politicians want to copy themselves? Even when they are telling us that their opponents were wrong, are wrong, and are not worthy of our attention. That's basically what they're saying is that, look, this is what Dr. Bawumia said in the past, so we'll use it against him. By so doing, you reduce yourself or raise yourself to his level. If you are different, be different. If you didn't want a debate, and you want a debate, you are showing us that there's some difference. You understand? But if you also come 2024 and tell us that, oh, Dr. Bawumia, you should go and debate vulcanizers and palm wine tappers. What's the difference between you and him? There's no difference. That's the point I'm making. Those who want to beat their opponents ought to show that they are substantially different from their opponents. Repeating what your opponent said 8 years ago puts you and your opponent in the same category. That's the point I'm making. A presidential debate, to be honest, does not settle everything. You cannot put everything that will happen in the next 4 years within a time space of 3 hours. It is not possible. Okay? It is not possible. So a presidential debate does not tell us everything. But at least it's a window to the, if you like, cognitive ability of the participants in the race. You know, it's a window which enables us to see the frame, the mental frame of the contestants. It's a window which enables us to test the honesty and sincerity of the contestants. And the Ghanaian people should not be denied this opportunity. From 1992, I've always had a problem with presidential candidates who run away from debates. And this time round, I don't want to see any presidential candidate running away from any debate. Let them slog it out, let them argue, let them bring out their counterfacts and analysis, and let the people decide who they want to vote for. This clamor for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama not to participate in the debate would do a lot of harm to him. And I would fully object to any such suggestion. He must debate.
Okay. So
everybody must debate.
Okay. So Kwesi, on the issue of Father for All, and we'll finish with this, and then we'll get Dr. Kisi on this one. Now, a few of our friends, viewers of the show, have sent some messages on this, and they seem to be saying the same thing. So I'll start off with our friend Mansa Musa in the UK.
Yes.
Okay. He says, the Mills Father for All, either rightly or wrongly, was seen as letting suspected wrongdoers go scot-free or being pardoned. It must be understood in that context. Mahama is right not to signal a message of leniency to wrongdoers when he comes into office. That's Mansa Musa. Then, Gay-hearted Mensa. He says, the concept of Father for All on that occasion was limited to prosecuting corrupt officials of the past government. The context is the belief that President Mills opted to be lenient with such corrupt officials because he was Father for All. JM never meant he would be Father for only NDC members when elected. That's Gay-hearted Mensa. Then Makojubuafu in the US. He says, I think that not to be Father for All meant prosecute those who had fallen foul of the law that the late Professor Tamils decided against. He was not insinuating to be the father for only the NDC members, but go after the wrongdoers. That's Mark's view on this. And then the award-winning journalist, Pakwesi Asare of Media General. He says, I think the Father for All tag was rather for Atta Mills. The fact that he didn't want to necessarily prosecute his political opponents and the need to unite the nation. So I stand to be corrected, but the question I think had to do with whether he will be lenient and hide under the Father for All mantra and not want to prosecute his political opponents who do wrong or have been cited for wrongdoing. And his response was that he had exercised himself of that. Okay. Then the final one. It says, I think Kwesi is quoting JM out of context. He linked the answer to whether he will prosecute criminals. Okay.
There's a problem. I think there's an element of unfairness to Professor Mills. Under no circumstance did Professor Mills say that he will not prosecute wrongdoing because he was Father for All. Never throughout his presidential life did he say that. And I think that I'm in a position to know. Professor Mills, at every stage, insisted that those who have wronged the country and so on needed to be punished. And he took steps. For example, the Minister for Foreign Affairs then, or Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, who was a very close friend of mine, was sent to court over some rice imports, if you remember.
Yes.
My another friend, Dr. Weku Brobe, and others had to face the Commission of Inquiry. And thereafter, there were attempts to prosecute them, but the courts would not, tolerate that because they said that the Commission of Inquiry was the equivalent of a high court. So remember all those things. So it was not like Professor Mills had decided that people could get away with wrongdoing, corrupt people should run away and so on. No. The courts frustrated his efforts. The courts did not allow him to have his way. And you see, those who are talking today, they should be very, very careful. Very careful. They should understand that today you have a Supreme Court which is made up of 15 judges. I don't want to say anymore. You have a Supreme Court which is made up of 15 judges. They should understand that over the last 8 years, significant appointments have been made to the Court of Appeal and the High Court and so on. They should understand that, okay? All kinds of interpretations are being given to these appointments. I don't want to repeat them. Whatever it is not easy to walk into a court and get a conviction. Even under normal circumstances, when so many appointments have not been made, the judges have to apply rules, they have to apply law, they have to be minded by the Constitution in making determinations of cases before them. So it is very, very possible that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will become president in 2025 and be frustrated by the judicial, the legal systems we have here, and he won't go anywhere. Look, this is just a matter of fact. When was Dr. Opuni charged before court?
2017.
Is he still not in court?
Yes.
Won't that happen? Is it not possible that that will happen in West under the NDC government? How long has the Jakpa case been in court? You see, so those who think that after winning elections, they're going to have everything easy and that anybody that they believe has committed a crime can quickly be hauled before court and jailed and so on, they should revise their notes. And they shouldn't blame Professor Mills, for not taking action against wrongdoers. He did take action against wrongdoers. He did a lot against wrongdoers. But he was frustrated by the judicial and legal systems that we have in this country. It was not the result of Father for All.
Okay.
Indeed, one of the things which is an expression of his Father for All attitude and philosophy is the fact that when he assumed office, there was a certain lacuna, in the appointment of district chief executives and so on. And he said he didn't mind. Let the NPP appointed district chief executive stay in office. That was a clear manifestation of his Father for All policy. You understand? And I applaud that. It's a good policy, it's a good attitude. Listen, the other thing which showed that he actually believed in this Father for All policy and so on was that he continued to maintain relations with people who were in the opposite camp, who had some technical advice to offer and so on. Everybody knows that Mr. Kwame Pinu is a founding member of the New Patriotic Party. Who doesn't know that? And yet, he had access to Professor Mills. You understand? It's a good thing. It is not a bad thing. You understand? It's a good thing for a president to seek to mobilize all the human resources available for national development. It is not a bad thing for a president to look for talent everywhere in order to achieve his objective. So I have no problem at all with the practice and the philosophy of Father for All. What our friends are saying, and many of the people who send these things are our friends, what they are saying, I think is most unfair to the memory of Professor Atta Mills.
Doc, let me bring you.
Yes. First of all, since I'm also a Father for All for Anya Sotom, let me extend
which cost you the election?
Well, I will continue to be Father for All, especially based on the advice of my learned and aged uncle.
But for that, you had exercised yourself.
Yes.
But for his advice,
well, yes,
you had exercised yourself.
So I would extend greetings to them watching, and also my parents. I think they may be watching. They're a big fan of your show now, and when I'm not here, they still watch.
Good morning, Doc and Dr. Mrs.
Yes. So I think.
In fact, Doc Senior.
Yes. before I launch into this, yesterday I was at a very remarkable program, ICT, and the fact that over 1,600 young girls are being trained in computing. And I think that I was taken by surprise when I sat in and observed the tutelage and the number of months they've been spending to learn about programming and more importantly, problem solving. And I must commend Honorable Minister Isla Owusu and the professor handling this entire program from University of Lincoln. Her name escapes me, but I think she used to handle brilliant science and maths.
Dr. Kaufman?
I think, yeah, that's right. Fantastic woman. Her features, forgive me, reminds me of Kunedu Rollins. You know, she's petite, but very, very brilliant. So kudos to them, and I must say that they brought meat to the table with regards to advancement needed in this country, and every day I believe that we need to create more problem solvers than problem creators. So back to this issue of Mahama's press conference. I'll give it to former President Mahama. I think he's a communicator, and that has been his domain. Every president and their strength, and when it comes to communication, I think Mahama, that's his comfortable area. So I'll give it to him. With regard to how the debate, if it should happen, will go, the jury is out there. I'm a bit cautious these days in my oration, very careful because even in certainties, miraculous things do happen. So I think the MPP won't shy away from a debate any day, and I think we all agree to the fact that Dr. Bawumia, he likes to banter. I mean when it comes to exchange of ideas, and he will be very ready to do this.
Shouldn't he be debating his lecture? For example, he presented a lecture on restoring the Ghanaian economy.
Yes.
And he directed all of us to where we can download it, restoring the value of the city.
Yes, but
he directed all of us.
Yes.
Shouldn't he be debating the prescriptions he put in the document to determine whether...
Today, coming off from what my senior man is saying, I really think that we're going beyond that idea of debating maybe, the Kayayes.
Debate the reality. I guess that's what he was saying.
Yes.
Debate the reality.
I think that a debate with Mahama will still provide that forum for him to do what I used to like about Tigo. It says express yourself. And I think that it will be fantastic to have the two express themselves, considering the current realities in this country and considering the challenges of the presidency. And I think that, truth be told, Mahama has been president before. He knows the challenges. Truth be told, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia has also been in cabinet and has experienced the challenges. And I must say, admittedly, one thing I know we can admit is that, what we thought before may change now in terms of the realities. We're very hopeful of many things, unbeknownst to us, were happenings that were beyond our control, and the ravages of post-COVID economics. And these are things that will be very fascinating to watch. But to say the least, I think overall, Ghana is moving forward day in and day out. And I will always push that small, medium enterprises are the backbone of every country. and kudos to our businessmen. And as for me, I'm always encouraging private enterprise to push the wheels forward. And until we appreciate the fact that it's the businesses that move the country, who will always be using the wrong paradigm to work our development. And let me use this opportunity to say that in the Western world, it is businesses that move the country. Though government creates an enabling environment, Bill Gates was not government. Dell Computer was not government. I can cite many innovations. Ford, for instance, was not government. And I believe that the Zuckerbergs and all these people are not necessarily government, but the environment was there, and now they have industries that are more than our GDP as a country. And I believe that if we encourage more people to do fantastic business and create revenues that are bigger than some of the enterprises that government has, that will be the way forward for this country. And that is my preaching now.
Okay.
For finance ministry and for everybody. And to sum it all up, Ghanaians depend on government maybe excessively. And we need to all change our paradigm to see how private enterprise can take the lead and move us into the land of milk and honey.
All right. Okay. So we'll move on to something else that you have to preach to us about.
Okay.
And that has to do with what happened to. He says this is what he preaches now.
Oh, okay.
So I would want him to preach further since he's in the spirit.
Yes.
Yesterday, you outdoored your running mate.
Yes.
In Kumasi.
Not just him, but the two. Let me put it that way. I believe that the two were outdoored.
Okay.
Because,
So whichever way, there was an outdooring.
Yes.
Because after
Pojimo.
Yeah.
After your national council meeting.
But Dr. Bobby had been outdoored in Accra already.
So this is his.
So they did outdooring. They are now doing dedication.
This is Pojimo.
Although at your national council meeting, you told us that you outdoored the running mate. In Kumasi. And all the events in Kumasi yesterday.
Fantastic.
So I want us to
go into that.
Kindly watch.
I think we've seen
what happened.
Quite.
I haven't. I was a bit busy, so.
Okay. The 241 is fantastic. I think
we can watch all. So we can watch Otumfuo speak. President Akufo-Addo speak. Vice President Alhaji Bawumia speak.
And he made some very fantastic.
And then
unfortunately, the clips that you played this morning do not tell the full story. Unfortunately.
Okay. Which clips?
The clips that you played on Metro TV today do not tell the full story.
I don't know which ones. I have not watched any of them.
I have watched. And I wasn't happy with the clips.
I see. So let's see if we can watch it because we carry the event live as well. Yes.
So, me bed ya makasa chen wo dem metunufo. So, kumfuosi ne ban na na de makasa chen wo dem metunufo. So, na so ma men kan chiro. Na so Dr. Matthew Prempe kumfuosi ma men kan chiro. So, ma Dr. Bawumia nunu ho so wo yi wo. So, ma Dr. Bawumia nunu so wo yi wo. So, e ma nunu ho so wo yi wo. So, ma nunu so wo yi wo. Okoya no koya sumpa ne di na chi na de obekire won na woso oye. Koya sumpa ho blasie ne di na chi na obekire woso oye. So dem no waka ne dem na America. So sa asiri odi ka ka tire o dem so waka na asi. So pa ho blasie kodi akire na ye ne kama mama me. Pa ho blasie kodi akire na ye ne kama mama. Ya sitie na de ono obekire won na ye. So,
we are the director of elections of my campaign. Yes. Immediately we will give you a branch who acts. Now 2016, Abama follow Baba government and the culture said 3 SHS policy. I have biggest legacy of our government. The person with this shit on no sir, no offense over to me. Because when they mean say, over to me, I hear I'm a basso, my year. 1 year. I'm a basso, I know, Mama saw you, and the if you, the 2012, and Bama Fabio. I'm saying, Messano, now Ministry of Energy. Also, acquire by Juma as so any do so, I can only do so, yes, there have been a few occasions, but what bombarding Amma said, power in our countries. Jamaica said. So people Ghana how to be a Sanko for me and one dance here. And your men and other dance with I may say, the Ghana for
polling station election, electoral area, constituency, regional, national elections, presidential primaries. And say Nigeria Namiko National Council as presidential candidate, Echo Council said, may running mate or Winina Ejutu. We have addressed MPP, internal elections. We are now a well-oiled machine for the 2024 presidential campaign. Abaya Yemetro 2024 it is about the future. And what choice was I election? Say, if I say a queen, Manasa, if I say Sanchi. Yeah, queen, Manasa, a queen. Because election is a choice between former President John Mahama and current Black Bearer and Vice President Dr. Baoumi. That is the choice. The choice between the future and the past. The past president, one president, and he failed. Maybe a vice president, maybe president, but Obiya said, I am the most
Mania Kono, it's in the 2008 the Chama which we can and so the Bayer Monyam, Sanana Dubaka, Adako for November, not 7 January, was so on the October of the answer. Many nearby. And not my daddy told you. But our brother Sabuma, Nagana, according to Babu, we are Brantia, Nawaha, go down to Mother Tabaunia. They say, on that chinti, on that chinti, Muntia Sambacope, and Yakotanania, England, English Abroche. Padima Kuba is never to the Blair. Fufu about the father Castama, to the blessing Castama, a food job I could have the mouth. Digitization, Bahama is Obama England for the national ID card. About the English Abroche, about national ID card, and now the Nadi you talk about it. National ID card, they were. And I want to be and in the end, Abroche, and in the end, Ghana has a day, Obiwaha. Now, the only man to be able to sit there, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and then everybody must have Dr. Dr. Baumia Kasa, Dr. Napo Cheshim, and Yano Krenda, Sadim So Ghana, and Bob there, you do my CSA. Yeah, do my CSA, what's in the Bina Kanya, and yes, you're Padano press will be the no. You do my name. Saotia Santidema, and Fiat Jolini, can you mean better than this time? Nebua, and Tadia no be the Fiat or Tabaka say, Nana did not go for so. And then be a man yourself, I'll be a sitter, the Bagana or Pianto. School structures I see, school people I see, school buildings I see, a bit to a Nakufadu, or Pianto and Nakufadu. In fact, you know, few and Colako Trump is here. No, we can't as I'm free. Then I'm not going for the head. What? Now, I was here. Your problem is only to school fees. Then I'm going for the head. On the quality president, Robert Sudan, so Mercy Hospital, Baku, 111. Oh, don't wait, not a day. That's one problem with the guy that couldn't do it. Oh, for that to be on the enemy. Now, why not the neighbor? Young control. Young control. Motia, Obia, Motia, and a drawing. Motia, the 900 Chibua, as you are called. Motia, the 900, as you are called. Meshamu, and then the baby Wendy. Samuel Nabo, listen to someone coming home and said Dr. Bobby, and then I'm not going for the Monema every day and coming. It's Yabasun, Yabasun, Yabasun. I could send another quack for the Mapo. I'm a Dr. Baumia and Dr. Baumia to the Jackasset, your Trabaman. Obia, people, I was in Fiamochi, Obia the Bonnet, Obia Cassetiano, the BBS to Antibidano. One case of stretch in your da, or stretch in your da, I say, Obi Mammy, Mammy, as soon as you had my wine call. Abonti Suni and Frankodi. Obia wa people and the Kumasi, Bibi Hano, said the Biblia Canada for Bacano, on Franche. On some from who said, I call no yere, your colony. Now, Cabomina, and I had a Cabono, then you had a Cojinim, by a day, Abba. More beyond Chasatibel, Ekasa, BBSC, BBSC. The ever seen Dr. Baumia and then Dr. Napa, who made the first one can't carry him, no one didn't have to cook for it. Now, by a so many hours sentimenta. Now, I have to a baby. Now, Yakupama shop for better than the I got into my MPP. Now, MPP 90%. No call for any able say, now to be movie. Obia Shariwaka, Obia, and then the school for an day. A baby, my, and your school word must have around the dark for the left about here. But today, a baby, now, Kwasi no for the next shire. What's the idea she cry in Marco school day? Then I hear Marco say, if you're 9 kind of near the Sumu, Tom Mama said near the Sumu, then I will stand Kwaku to say that now say no school, no more call free. Omu go school, omu did free. Or you be senior, or go school did school fees the school attire the shadow, textbooks and the mano. Hey, and child crowd because I talk crowd. Teacher all this guy they talk about trade. And then talk a boo. And the idea of school I say make you check for no we school for there. The baby. I buy by the channel make for do obey. It is shamu. You free hair coy. And you are doing your coy and then the ambassador that's you. But I'm saying my politics here. But say that the ambassador be there. So what test call now what test call now as Antibema. I buy a moment of future. Anya bye MPP. Okachire say we turn nurse the teacher training allowance. Ya program ya go ship me entu aba no ma no. Ya entu aba ma ewie na go ship a. And then do say sama. I just say obi aba wari uni aba. Obi aba wari uni aba. Wa ini basabasa. Oni na ango. Nyame go na be ma fofo be fa no. No ni na wo ni bre ya. Ofo no obo kokoko. Abra kosia. Me yo. Oba yo ya kwa yo. Sa oba yo ya kwa. And I'm here to my party, no, but I was saying, the other kind, and I must have the I have the one dream here. I Babu now MP. I saw my catch and said, oh, some pa, overcome with him. MPP party. Obiobeka say you been share behind of boy. Now do that kwa kufuado. Odun kwa the president wa ba if you watching e come madam me boy. If you watching e come nyane. E wi ase nyina chi come no na Ghana wo dey aduane. O mi ade nyame ase. Me nyame aye bia ma party no. Be na wa say. Be edi kan and dem must have the I have the word dream here. So your baburu na wo MPP a asema me ka cho ane say osom sompa ubako wanim. Osom sompa ubako de wanim. Oya test call yo, oya sadu adwumo, osom sompa oya de uko wanim. De ebinom ni Ghana kodru ya. Ana ni da so ni no. Na do dan kwa kufu adu aba ama ni to so ya de aba. Sa na nyame ba bo ma Dr. Bomi aba na wasifie papa bi enya ya de yatnem. Etienne bijra munyina ye kambo ndena na do dan kwa kufu adu ase na oya bi nyame afa so ahia Ghana fo nyina. Nyefe so ya papa no abobra na wawuba na woba no abedi wade na odi tapade na ire akona nim na do dan kwa kufu ado awu Dr. Baumia ama na Ghana fo nyina o se bakọ ya no ho efe na ho akono ya di Ghana ni ma ede eye ya ti MPP kroi ebi sida ye nyina ye be ka bo ma bia ye adwumade afiwe ami ahye na do dan kwa kufu ado ebi se odun kwa Dr. Baumia bere obeba ebi si wa MPP bunda Ghana ha ya chechi Ghana abakosama President Kufuor to call retirement but to be sack case we say a free say ya chechi Ghana from 1957 ebe kan ye nya president bi a wabo Ghana che na do dan Kufuor me say a free 1957 be kan mo form Kwame Nkrumah no mo form obia di wa be di mampanya wabo Ghana ho ban edi Ghana kola nim China na do dan kwa Akufuado abedi wade no di tapade na ire akola nim your MPP kroi ebi sida Ghana ha ya chechi Ghana abakosoma President Kufuor to call retirement but to be sack case we say if we say ya chechi Ghana from 1957 ebe kan ye nya president bi a wabo Ghana China na do dan kwa Kufuor me say if 1957 ebe kan mo form Kwame Nkrumah no mo form obia di wa di mampanya wabo Ghana ho ban edi Ghana kola ni China na do dan kwa Kufuor Nika ye mani ya kono etina ye ha ya made si 2008 na di si mo chama wutu the leader of FPP and the flag bearer of FPP now the running mate of 2025 vice president champion
and all protocol observed. Choose Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as his running mate. 60 years today, the same history is going to introduce in this park. Joman, let me tell you something. We know how to win the elections. We know how to win the elections. And the NDC people that now, MPP, we were finished from police station, electoral area coordinators, constituency, region, national, MPs, presidential, and now it's the running mate. We have finished up in the election in the MPP. Now, what is left is winning 2024 elections. Because they can't stop. 208, they delay us. 208, they delay us. 2024 election, NDC, you cannot stop us. You cannot stop us. You cannot stop us. We are winning. We are winning. We are winning. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. People, we have 1 million ways to win 2024 elections. We have 1 million ways to win 2024 elections, and we are ready. We are ready. As some regional chairman, I want to call all my brothers, all the regional chairmen to join me to send a signal to NDC. All the regional chairman to join me to send a signal. Our regional chairman, yes, chairman. Mekachi Kakradi.
All right, so sights and sounds from Kumasi yesterday. I guess that it will be the right time to take a break, so that Doc, you can refer to your Bible a bit for the sermon. I don't know if you're going to use the amplified version or the King James version. It's on his phone. Okay, we'll be back shortly.
She's coming. She's coming.
Oh, it's in.
Brother, receive now.
Boss, let's go back.
Here, take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming. Oh. She's here.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still on point. For your bread,
It's creamy.
For your toast, it's still on point. It's your yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point. Yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point. Yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast. It's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we used to Kel 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Kel 360 toothpaste.
Gaskia, Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa. Kile hosing. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling kika when you know Kel 360 toothpaste. Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Bet, blast, boom! Exclusively on Betway. Win up to 300% more when you play FlyX with Win Boost from Betway. Betway, get way more.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone.
Lakoha, it's a missing opportunity to be the luckiest. It's time to put some smile on your face. Still asking what luck means? At Luckiest, we believe it's more than just chance. It's joy waiting to happen.
Let's go.
Dial star 712 hash. Now password tickets not as a group, individual, and as a community. Now participating in the Luckiest from the 1st of July 2024. Grand draw near 30th November 2024. Luck is everywhere with the Luckiest. The Luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform and is not for persons below 18 years. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Kwesipra Jr. and Dr. Dixon Adoma Kukisi. Ayesoko, that could somebody be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control of every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply, not for persons under 18, and it's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. And you can reach Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 or 055 001 000. Dr. Adumaku Kisi. Ojemo.
Yes. So I would want to start from Otumfo's comments. And I think Otumfo really spoke for not just Napo, but for all of us following the Vice President at the moment. And I want to encourage every party member from grassroots on up to take the advice given to us as a party that we should follow the lead of our presidential candidate and that we should serve him and that he should not regret taking the mantle to lead us. And I think that upon further reflection, I see that as an advice for all of us who are MPP at the moment. Now, beyond that was very pleasant comments. I think the Vice President, talked about Napo in terms of his capabilities and abilities and for which reasons he chose Napo, which was good. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo also, added his voice to the fact that there's a track record experience that Napo has and what he brings to the table in terms of his patriotism. And without a doubt, I think that the two form a very formidable team. I must admit that there's a bit of massive hysteria with regards to an unfavorable statement that Napo made. And I would, from a communication experience, admit that, I think he even stopped himself when he made a comment about former president. And I think at that point he realized that no, he had made a mistake.
No, he stopped himself from mentioning the names of the others, but he had made the statement that none of them, from 1957 to date, compares to Nana Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
Then he proceeded to mention, which way did he use for the Nkrumah one? So I'm sure that he was going to then mention everybody's name.
Not yours.
No, our Kwame Nkrumah.
No.
Our Kwame Nkrumah. But that's why I said that I think he realized that it was a very unfavorable thing.
No,
but
he mentioned it twice.
No,
not the name.
Yeah.
The fact about the fact that he said that no leader since Ghana was founded in 1957 compares to Nana Akufo-Addo. He repeated that.
Yeah, I think that,
and also the name, he mentioned it more than once.
I think that personally, one, I believe that every leader had some monumental things they did for Ghana, and I've always cited that my biggest admiration for President Rawlings, former president, is the fact that he agreed to hand over power to President Kufuor. For me, of all the things that had happened prior to, the judges who were eliminated, all the things that Rawlings did, for me, in the annals of history of this country, that decision that I've lost the election and I'm handing over to Kufuor was the vital moment in President Rawlings's decades of ruling this country. And that was remarkable for me. And it has always stayed with me because if he had not, the story would have been a total different story for Ghana and our democracy. And I think that is Rawlings's contribution. Then we'll fast forward to Kufuor, who also made his. So really, every president and what they brought to the table, and it will be difficult to always compare one necessarily to the other. And let me say that, it sounded like us in high school debating, the way he talked, it almost sounded like he felt that he was back in Prempeh debating his colleagues. Unfortunately, where you say, hey, Kwame Nkrumah, in a rhetorical way, but it's unfortunate. These days, we don't communicate that way. And I think that at some point in time, he will, as it is, bring something, a brief statement to further elaborate what he really meant. But I can admit that, listen, every president and his time and his experience. And one thing which, not because Kwesi Pratt, my boss, is here, but Kwame Nkrumah, in his time, second to none. And Kwame Nkrumah, in terms of Africa's history, brutal, fantastic. You'd go to the likes of the Caribbean, and he's hailed like, quote unquote, a prophet. He's hailed like the Haile Selassie's, and that is his time. I can't compare Azuma to Muhammad Ali. It will be wrong. Both are great boxers in different category. And I think that it's important that every Ghanaian appreciates that. And we can never, and I mean, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has built his monumental museum in respect of the legacy, in respect of Kwame Nkrumah's contribution to this country, and we cannot discount it. Nobody can discount it. And I think that we need to assess each president per their time. And, Atta Mills came.
But that's the assessment
no shot.
That's the assessment that your running mate has made. And
well,
he has made his assessment public, known to everybody, that none compares.
And I'm here to make my case that I believe that every president and his era and his contribution. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah during his time, one of the most powerful men in the century. You can't take that from him. Based on what he did, the Malcolm X's that came here, you know who Malcolm X is.
Did he ask the crowd?
Yes.
If they've ever heard of hunger in the 8 years of President Akufo-Addo's rule?
Well,
he did, right?
I think
hunger.
From an assessment of yesterday's euphoria, I think, honestly speaking, my Napo was overly excited, and let me, borrow the word, too excited, and under such circumstances, you have slip of tongue. Under such circumstances, you zone into your youthful exuberance, and I think he demonstrated a little bit of his youthful exuberance. And moving forward, we're going to see a more measured, person in his oration, which is very important. The new role he has, transitioning from, an operational campaign person into energy ministry or education ministry, and then transitioning from an energy minister, an audacious guy, to vice presidentship or running mateship. I think that transition will take a while. And as we move, he will transition very well into his new role and also be mindful. Now when you talk, it's a global village. What you say in Mampong or Kejetia can be blown out in the world, anywhere, and you are no more talking to quote unquote just your people. You're talking to the entire country, and you know, is in a little bit, our Napo will transform into the new role, which you know has different. I must say, in working with the foreign affairs people these days, I've noticed that they even rehearse when they want to tell you, "I want to drink water." I'm just saying, and because they're full cautious in the words they choose to do what they do. So let me one make that strong argument that you know, it was youthful exuberance, excitement, you know, and euphoria that drew him to that. And I know he reveres Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo so much and loves him so much because he has literally, let me say, made him who he is. And now, based on the faith Nana has had in him, has landed him into this almighty new position. And I must admit that every president and their time and their contribution to this country, and that is my stand on this. And I think that at some point in time, you know, a statement will be released, and not just Kwame Nkrumah. I mean, you know, President Kufuor, for his contribution to this country, his dedication, his perseverance, and his statesmanship, even after presidency, everybody knows.
What did he say was Tony Blair's advice to Starmer upon winning the election?
I didn't catch that part.
Oh, you did?
Except
you did, because I discussed it with you.
Except for the part that he said that.
That's unfair.
No, but it's true. He knows that he did.
No. That's unfair. That's
we had a conversation off camera.
Yes,
on it.
Except
so it's unfair.
Why is it unfair?
You know, except for the fact that.
No, Randy, why is it unfair? Tell me one reason why it's unfair.
Things said off camera
Yes.
are not meant on camera unless the person who said it wants to.
No, but I was not so clear.
The new rule?
Oh, that there is.
No, but we all listened to the man when the man said that Tony Blair has actually advised the new prime minister to not digitization.
No, I think that's what he
No, to make sure that the British now have ID cards.
National ID.
National ID cards.
Oh,
But
that bit.
Didn't you hear it?
But that one day, I think the Brits already have national ID cards.
But you heard him say it.
No, I heard the digitization part, and then also the ID card.
Okay.
Those two. Okay. But, you know, more so the digitization. I think that was a strong point that he was trying to make. But as for the, you know, admittedly, the national identification is something very common to the Western world, in the US and everywhere else, even Canada. So, you know, like I said, some blips will happen.
Okay.
Some blips will happen. So be at ease. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, you know, Randy, I mean, at some point, I really had to pinch myself. I was wondering whether I was seeing a clip from Alice in Wonderland or that we're emerging from Cuckoo's Land. You know, I mean, so strange. And then the other thing which also caught me wondering was indeed whether the New Patriotic Party and its candidates running for president and vice president are actually interested in getting votes from the Ghanaian people. I'm really wondering, okay. Because, Massa, first of all, I would find it extremely strange if in this election the people of Qatar turn out to vote for your presidential ticket. I find it very, very difficult to believe. One, because we have known over the years that one of the most pressing problems of the people of Qatar is sea erosion. And what Napo said about allocating money for the sea defense project and so on completely alienates the people of Kita.
I thought we were going to talk about just the...
Just hold on, I'm coming. Just hold on. Completely. And then what he said about teachers with diploma certificates also completely alienates a whole category of people and so on. And there are others. So one would have thought that having become the vice presidential candidate, he will make efforts to bring people on board, given the extent of alienation that he has already caused and so on. But yesterday, it was worse. I mean, I was part of President Kufuor's campaign. Okay. And I knew the extent to which he went to woo Nkrumahs and people who belong to the CPP tradition.
Very true. Very
he
true.
went to a very, very long extent to do that. Even to the extent of erecting billboards which had him and Nkrumah on the same billboard.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
And then his regular meetings with Pakwesi Ndom and others, he made special efforts.
And even brought Pakwesi to his...
Because he knew the dynamics of the Ghanaian society. And he knows the kind of influence that that tradition has. It may not express itself in the formation of a political party and how many votes that political party is getting. But it is huge, it is influential. So he made efforts in order to cultivate that tradition. Now, perhaps Napo doesn't know these dynamics. Okay. I can also say on authority that there are many people who voted for Nana Addo Akufo-Addo because of his CPP past.
It's true.
In fact, until February 24, 1966, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo belonged to the radical wing of the Convention People's Party and supported Nkrumah throughout. And still, he has many political friends.
And made Blay our chairman.
He has many political friends who support him on account of that, in spite of the fact that having assumed office, he's joined the effort to denigrate Nkrumah. But he benefited from that and so on. So for Napo yesterday to refer to Nkrumah as your Nkrumah, a most derogatory reference. Your Nkrumah, mon Nkrumah no.
Off the cuff.
What? I couldn't believe it. And Randy, look at the person who is attempting to denigrate Nkrumah. Unbelievable. You haven't gotten anywhere. You've just been nominated as running mate. You haven't reached anywhere. And your claim to fame is that you implemented the free SHS program. Go and look at the educational program which was initiated by Nkrumah. In 3 years, enrollment into secondary schools went up by about 10,000%.
During his time.
During his time. And yet you can mount a platform and refer to him as your Nkrumah and so on. I mean, I was totally shocked. Now, at that time, I went back and I reminded myself of the advice that the Asantehene had given him. You know, and his actions were directly opposite what the Asantehene had told him not to do. Okay, it was most troubling. Now, there's also the indirect reference to former President John Ajikun Kufuor. The indirect reference.
Why indirect? It's direct. Is that no leader?
No problem. You may call it direct.
Yeah, it's direct.
I choose to call it indirect because he didn't mention his name. Okay, so you may be right, but that's not what I want to do. The reference to former President John Ajikun Kufuor was most shocking. You see, if you look at Ghanaian history, the only time that somebody from the Dankwa Buzia tradition managed to win elections which was undisputed, free and fair and so on, was President Kufuor's time, the year 2000. Perhaps if President Kufuor had not won the election, we would not be where we are today. So at least some respect. He deserves to be accorded some respect. As somebody who has built something upon which we are building the new patriotic party today, if not destroying what he did. You understand? And yet that respect is not accorded him at all. He's lumped into the category of former president who didn't do anything, or whose achievements come nowhere near Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And I was really shocked. Because I don't think that even Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia would talk the way Napo spoke. They would at least acknowledge that they are building, if they are building on the foundations of what President Kufuor left. But this outright dismissal is so very shocking. Yes, you may hate Nkrumah, you may, for ideological reasons or whatever, you may hate him. What about President John Agyekum Kufuor, who built the foundations upon which we are riding today? He also did nothing?
No, he didn't say they did nothing. He said that they don't compare with Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo's achievement surpasses all.
He used superlatives.
Yes.
When he described Nana Akufo-Addo's achievements.
Yes.
So it is clear that he has very little regard for the achievements of former heads of states, including President Kufuor. That's the point I'm making. You understand? But you see, there are so many surprises. Today in Ghana, isn't it surprising that you can get somebody who is in total self-denial, who can say that there has been no hunger in this country for close to 8 years, no hunger, that there's so much food that people are still in schools. He didn't add in the schools. Play it back.
No, that one, he was talking about the schools. There were two different.
Oh, so you are trying to infer what he meant.
No. When he talked about Eduane Busa, he was talking about schools.
Schools, yeah.
I didn't get that context.
Yeah.
Okay. But even if that was what he was saying, Eduane Busa.
No, it's a complete lie. I mean, we all live in this country. We know the problems with food. Headmasters are calling on parents to provide food, all students to provide food. Students don't have food to eat. These were things that were on front pages of newspapers, were discussed on programs extensively over a period. Yeah. To the extent that during that period, heads of institutions who were soliciting for food from parents and all students were never sanctioned by the GS or the Ministry of Education. Contrary to, others were sanctioned for doing things that were not, but for those who were asking for feeding, and this is just a year or so ago, schools everywhere, parents were being asked to contribute to feeding children. So why would anybody lie like that?
Yeah, so I was really amazed.
I mean, if you talk about hunger, the Statistical Service informed us
below poverty
that 850,000 more have been pushed into extreme poverty. Yeah. There are already people there. 850,000 more have gone to join them.
But the figure is around 7.4 million people. And they describe their condition as multidimensional poverty. Multidimensional poverty.
I mean, I've seen videos of some people.
That's how they describe it.
Doc, I don't know if you saw those videos on Kwesi. Some people were in the t-shirts who had gone there, had been bashed to the place, who were complaining
that they haven't eaten.
They've been neglected. And they were the same people who were being asked if they have ever seen hunger in 7 years.
Yeah, I saw those videos. I think you saw them too. You saw them. Yes. But you see, so you begin to wonder, I mean, what country is being described to us? Is it the country in which we have been living for the last 7 years?
Homophobia.
Is that Ghana? I'm wondering, I'm watching television, I'm wondering, is this Ghana which is being described to me? I couldn't believe it. You understand? And there's also something which is very, very troubling and has been happening over and over again. The President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, again insisted that the next president would not be John Dramani Mahama. He insisted. No problem. We said it before. And before, he said it even in stronger terms, that under no circumstance would he hand over to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He said that.
Yeah.
Another top activist of the New Patriotic Party in Kumasi on television, Randy, I hope you are listening, said that, oh, as for him, he knows that people may not vote for the party. But on the day of the elections, dwarfs will emerge from nowhere.
Who?
Maurice Ampao. Dwarfs will emerge from nowhere and vote massively for the MPP. Dwarfs.
Or angels.
Oh, Tobo, I think. So these things have been said, and then somebody has said that, oh, Ghana will be shocked, and that the elections will be won by strategy, and so on. They've been saying all kinds of things. But then the running mate of Dr. Baumia yesterday now also tells us that actually the MPP will win because angels will come down and fill the ballot boxes. Are you not worried?
When he said they will vote.
When they vote, are they not filling the ballot boxes?
The angels are on our electoral roll.
You know, this is usually campaign talk, you know, where we say that wherever, and what is imagery in a way, what it means is that wherever we'll find a vote, we will do. And that means we'll convince as many more people.
Not people, angels.
Well, I mean, but it means people.
Angels.
You know.
No, so if you begin to discount the votes of the Ghanaian people,
we're not discounting it.
And you begin to emphasize the votes of dwarfs, angels, and witches, and so on.
Wizards, too.
And wizards. I mean, what are you telling us? You're going for an election in which you think that your mandate will come from angels, dwarfs, and so on.
Humans, angels, dwarfs, wizards, witches. Everywhere. We will go to every ghetto. You know, every nook and cranny to get votes. That's what it means. It's a figure of speech of some sort.
You know, I think it's extremely worrying. It's extremely worrying.
It's a figure of speech.
Well, figure of speech, whatever you call it, is extremely worrying, you know. And then there's something else which came up very strongly in yesterday. Maybe there's a reason for it, but whatever reason there is, you got the impression that the focus of this campaign is on winning Ashanti. Ashanti is the focus, it's clear. You know, your activists were talking about getting 85%. I think the running mate himself even went to the extent of talking about 95% and so on. And the messaging is directed at Ashanti. Look, the earlier you guys woke up to realize that there are 16 regions in Ghana and that Ashanti is only one region, the better it will be for you and for Ghana.
Agreed.
The better it will be for you and Ghana.
But I think I made that point too.
Yes. This whole focus on Ashanti and Ashanti and Ashanti can become a problem, can become a huge problem for you. I don't believe that we should resort to ethnicity when it comes to campaigning. I don't believe
we believe so too.
Yes.
And we are demonstrating it.
So when I see that, I get really frightened because of the consequences it can have, you know, for national cohesion and so on. But this one is deliberate and appears to be born out of the fact that you think that this is your stronghold, you know, and you think that you have to do everything.
It has been our stronghold.
Whatever it is.
If this election will change it, that one we're yet to see. But we can talk on authority based on the facts of the many elections we've gone, that Ashanti region is a stronghold. 40 against 3 in terms of, you know, the NDC. I mean, that is undoubted.
And you see, there are some practices that are troublesome. You select or elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as your flag bearer.
Correct.
Presidential candidate.
Not based on ethnicity or
no, please,
religion.
Please. He comes from Wali Wali.
Correct.
You did not take him to Wali Wali, yeah, or to any of those places to introduce him to the Nairi.
Oh, he went.
You took him to inaugurate him.
Yes, he went. Oh, you can check.
He went.
When
I know what I'm talking about.
It was done. Oh, you can double check because
Double check what?
I missed the opportunity to go. I know. A major event was done in Walwale soon after.
As part of his general tour of the country.
Oh, no, it was a big one.
My brother, please, I also followed it.
It was a big one. I missed it.
It was a big one, but whatever it was, big or small, he went there as part of his general tour of the country after visiting other regions. Hold on. That's different from this one, where the candidate is chosen and his first point of call is his traditional authority.
Oh, he went to, and you can check your records. That one there, I have to stand in that after the elections, the first week he was in Wadwali, and I missed it because Sly and others were there. I missed it. I was not in the country. I missed it. So that one I can speak on authority based on my experience that after Vice President won, he was outdoored.
In any case, what role did the Nairi play in his selection as the flag bearer of the party?
Well, I think that, and what I've said consistently is that the MPP has gotten to a point where...
My question is very simple. It's not a complicated question at all.
That's why
what role did the Nairi play in his selection as flag bearer of the party?
Well, he gave us, the father, Bawumia, and the son. I mean, those are his products. So, if not at all, the very least I can say is that he's the son of the soil, and as he's the chief, or the lord over that area, that is his product.
In any case, as you continue to focus attention on getting 95% in Ashanti and so on, Wali Wali is burning. I've seen videos of two factions of the New Patriotic Party get into radio stations and slug it out. Wali Wali is burning. That's not the concern of your flag bearer.
It is.
Then you have nothing more to say.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So one of also the burning issues, and we'll probably deal with that and wrap it up, has to do with an issue related to the oil and gas industry, in the energy sector. And a couple of days ago, there was a ruling by an arbitration tribunal. After the ruling...
International Arbitration Tribunal.
International Arbitration Tribunal.
Okay.
Thanks, Kwesi. After the ruling, we saw some information out there suggesting that Ghana had lost at arbitration. Then we saw a statement from the Attorney General claiming victory for Ghana and giving reasons. The company involved in that particular issue, E&I and Vito, have also issued a statement, and they are also claiming victory. Now, this is not a new issue, and is an issue that many CSOs and others in the energy sector had waded into and had spoken about it. I don't even want to, not to talk about a minority in Parliament who had also issued a statement and spoken about this. And as the information on the issue begins to come out and become clearer, there are quite a number of issues that, in my opinion, are quite disturbing and ought to be interrogated. beyond where the politicians want us to leave the issue and talk about it. Now, one of the think tanks that actually wrote to President Akufo-Addo some 2 or 3 years ago, asking him to intervene in this matter was ACEP, the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Yes, and the executive director is Ben Boakye, and we're going to speak with Ben this morning to find out what really this whole thing is about, and the fact that looks like all sides are claiming victory as far as this particular issue is concerned. I've seen a trailer of a yet to be aired program by Pakwesi Asare of TV3, and that trailer actually sort of summarizes what the issues are. Interestingly, Ben Boakye is the person who they will also want to speak to on. So I'd want us to watch that as we connect to Ben Boakye to speak on this particular issue.
An international tribunal has determined that Ghana breached the petroleum agreement by not adhering to the agreed upon procedures or failing to fulfill specific obligations related to unitization. The dispute revolves around the unitization of an oil field, which refers to the process of combining adjacent or overlapping oil fields or reservoirs that straddle different license areas into a single unit for more efficient and optimal resource extraction. However, moments after the ruling, Ghana's Attorney General Godfrey Adame thinks differently, saying the tribunal had rejected an alleged $7 billion compensation claim made by ENI and Vitol against Ghana's government and its state oil company over the unitization issue. This report was captured on the headlines of other major news outlets in Ghana, but international media, including Reuters, have reported differently. Benjamin Boakye is with ACEP, a civil society think tank.
The court had that single duty of ensuring or determining, that either government acted right or wrongly in its directive to unitize the field. And if you read a judgment that is circulating or has come out from the court or the arbitral tribunal, the simple ruling was that government acted wrongly. It failed to even interpret its own laws correctly. It is agreed that within the reliefs that were sought, or the claimant's statement, they indicated the full cost of the government decision if they proceeded to unitize the field, which were in the region of $7 billion. So once those orders were not fully operational and were not implemented by the state, we were not expecting any financial damage on Ghana.
All right, so that's the yet to be aired interview on 3 Business, and that's an interview granted Pakwesi Asare by Ben Boakye, Executive Director of ACEP, and he joins me on the show on this matter. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Doc. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Now, Ben, I am confused. Did my country, Ghana, represented by my government, win at the arbitration tribunal, or did my country lose?
Yeah, I think you simplified the question enough, and the answer is that Ghana lost the case in court, and the case essentially was to prove that the unitization order was premature. It was not in sync even with our own laws and also industry practice. And that for me is what the court ruled on. And to that extent, There is no other interpretation to the subject matter that was before the arbitral tribunal than to say that Ghana lost the case, and the claimants or those who took the matter to court actually won on that.
Now, Ben, we'll get to some consequential claims that appear to have been made by those who went to the tribunal, and of course, even the respondents. But my digging on the issue shows that some time back, you, in the CSO space, well-versed in the energy sector, saw a looming problem and even had to write to His Excellency the President for his intervention on the matter. Can you shed some light on this and why you did this years back?
Yeah, no, I think when the matter was raging, we had commented on it lightly on many fora, trying to draw attention to industry practice and how unitization actually happens. Our thinking was that, well, if it was possible to unitize the blocks and was commercially sensible to do so, Ghana benefits for it. But to be able to determine whether it is appropriate to unitize, there are scientific ways of determining that and actually proving beyond reasonable doubt that in unitizing the fields, Ghana stands to benefit and not necessarily just bringing more people to the party to take the benefits away. So in that patriotic duty of ensuring that the state interest is enforced, or we were protecting the interest of the state, we kept engaging, we kept writing, we kept pushing government to do the needful. Make sure that the decision that you are taking actually increases the national take. Ultimately, by unitizing, the revenue to the state should increase. So if you have not proven that the state will benefit more, then you are not doing what will be in the interest of the state. And because the ministries and government agencies will not listen, we thought that, let's seek the attention of the number one gentleman of the land to state that even if you had all the advice you wanted from your cabinet, from the energy ministry, from the attorney general, and everybody involved, there are many experts in the space. It costs far less to seek that opinion and not take Ghana through that path that we're going. And also realizing that that singular decision to cause the unitization was causing Ghana significant harm because a lot of investors were apprehensive. Sustenance capital was impacted because they were not putting in their money. They were not sure what the outcome of that directive was going to be. And also there were local rulings that was further disturbing the oil and gas industry because every investor was then looking at how would Ghana interpret its laws when there are issues, there are concerns with the investments that they would have made. And mind you, this is a $7 billion investment that the partners have made, and they need to recover that investment. And suddenly, somebody says, we want others on the party without proving why they should be part of a transaction. So we thought that we needed a hearing of the president for at least making sure that the right things are done and that Ghana didn't need to go to arbitration on a matter that could be proven scientifically. And there are scientific methods of ensuring that the unitization is right and it is done properly. And that was what we basically sought to do, to really alert the president that it was premature. We didn't need to do what we're doing. We didn't need to go to arbitration when the cost of actually determining whether the unitization was proper was not significant, if you ask me, for us to waste Ghana's time, engage in those speculative activities that pushed all investors away. And now we have not even been able to assess the true damage that this has caused this country, because you are now assuming the investors that left, the investors that didn't put in their money, the relocation of businesses away from Ghana to neighboring countries as a result of these knee-jerk reactions and instructions. We've not been able to assess all these laws on us, and we thought that it was simply unnecessary and avoidable, for us to go that route. But it didn't amount to anything. We had to go arbitration, waste the money that we could have perhaps used to support the industry, on litigation and pay lawyers for it.
Now, Ben, the tribunal refers to a portion of the petroleum agreement, which has been the case of ENI all this while. Now, what does that portion of the agreement say? And what does what it says mean?
I think they were just trying to alert the state of the stability agreement that they have with the government, and also to highlight that, you know, if you want to do a unitization, you really need to prove scientifically that, you know, it warrants it, all right, and not unilaterally decide that, you know, we have to bring others to the party and not respond to those agreements. And also, essentially, the point of dispute or the jurisdiction for dispute is out of Ghana. So those references in the agreement, the state was supposed to be in full brief of what the law says, and even interpreting the industry law itself, which gives the power to the minister to unitize. And that power to unitize is not necessarily a substitute for the scientific proof that unitization should actually happen. But it was to ensure that after all the scientific methods had been applied, then the minister can go ahead and administratively instruct that they sanction the unitization of oil fields, and not to just say that before even the scientific methods have applied, we can establish commerciality on both sides. We can just, because there is unitization in the law, apply it. So they were drawing attention to the legalities in the contract and also in our own law, which were in total breach and did not, arise at the time that those directives were being instructed.
But Ben, I am a bit concerned about something, and it has to do with investor confidence. Now, we keep spending money on all platforms, all manner of fora, domestic, international, trying to woo investors into this country, especially in a capital intensive area like oil and gas. These investors seek to have some confidence in the fact that the country will respect contracts and provisions in contracts. But more importantly, these investors, the confidence that these investors will have in an economy is also on the basis or strength of their confidence in the judiciary of the said country. This is a matter that is gone through the judicial processes in this country. I remember that one of them even had a chief justice, a sitting chief justice, as head of the panel. Yet, all the rulings of the courts did not go the way of ENI. Now, they have had to go outside to the International Arbitration Tribunal, which then assets something which you would want to consider fundamental and basic. I mean, this clearly will have some serious implications.
Absolutely. I mean, the damage, to the country, if you assess it from all angles, is so significant. It brings in the courts and their rulings, which had no reference to the letter of the law itself and also industry practice. They will just follow the directives of the minister and say the minister has said it and it has to be implemented that way. And if you have the courts subjecting investors to that kind of treatment, it makes it difficult for us to woo many other investors into the space. And that is why if you track how many roadshows we have done over the past couple of years and has brought in zero investment, we've just wasted the country's money. Because there is no better testimony of your capacity or of the robustness of your regime than the testimony of those who are already here. So if the testimony of those who are here has been that Ghana's investment climate is on a downwards dip, and investors are not treated right, laws are interpreted arbitrarily, all the way through the Supreme Court, you're not going to get an investment. And it was so basic for us to know that once we continued behaving that way, we're not going to get an investment that we were looking for. But perhaps the road shows made sense because people would travel, per diems will be paid, and the state will spend money. And that was the outcome of what we have been spending money. The last count, we had done over 23 road shows across the world, while the investors, those who are putting billions in our country, were struggling and complaining about the behavior of the state in our country. So that for me was really the problem. And how we reverse that kind of narrative, particularly when we have extended that behavior to the international court and there has been a ruling, how we reverse that at this point, for me, is the crucial thing for us to look at. And perhaps the way to do it is for an open declaration that we have been wrong over time, and going forward, investors' right, and people will come in and bring their money and will not be subjected to these kinds of treatment. Otherwise, nobody is sure what the next minister or the next president or the next attorney general would do. How do we bring that confidence back? I think it's a national conversation that we need to have.
At the heart of this issue are two distinct businesses. You have an indigenous company and you have an international company. Now, on the basis of this ruling, how do we move forward? What does the ruling mean? What is the impact? How do we move on?
Yeah, so now we will need, Springfield to go back to work. And we keep saying that if it is money you need to be able to improve on the commerciality or determination of commerciality of the fields, it's really about discussing with who has the money. All right. If you thought that E&I or the partners were the ones in the space that had the money to be able to do it, you engage and say, let's do it. It's business. And how you strike that out at that level is what is important. It's not hiding behind the capacity of the state to do the unthinkable. So I'm hoping that, common sense will prevail and that we would start engaging on how practically we can assess that discovery that was made to make sure that if there is indeed oil, that oil can be produced, for me, in the tiniest manner. And that is important. How quickly you can bring the oil on stream, particularly in this context of struggling economy. We need any revenue we can find. And if there is a resource that we can tap into, then we need to do that. And to do that, you need money, you need confidence, you need risk capital. And who brings in that risk capital? We need to engage the deep pockets. And you are lucky to have E&I, one of the global giants that in most cases dips into their pockets to bring money for development. Most of the oil companies like Tullow and the rest, they go to borrow to develop their fields. E&I is able to invest their own capital. So decision making is quick. And that's why they are suddenly making Cote d'Ivoire, the new oil hub, because they are investing money and they are discovering oil and they are producing in record times. So you need that kind of investor to be able to activate and add value to the space. And I think if they have common sense conversation with the investors to begin to test the discovery and make sure that if it is commercial, we can bring it on stream as quickly as possible. That could be done, but we are not even admitting that we have lost in court. So where does it start? Where does the conversation start? It's really between the government and the parties.
Now, Ben, the Attorney General tries to restrict us to the processes at the tribunal and to make us believe that to the extent that some of the consequential reliefs that E&I were seeking was not granted by the tribunal, we did not lose anything. You are a player in the industry. What is it that Ghana has lost as a result of this protracted litigation? Because obviously, if this unitization had been accepted and had happened, there obviously would have been revenues, hard-earned currency coming in over the period of the litigation?
Absolutely. I mean, the Attorney General knows clearly that E&I didn't go to court seeking $7 billion or even $1 million. They went to court, on the fact that the unitization was improper, and they won on that. What Ghana has lost, E&I estimated that to be around $915 million, dollars to them. So what that means is that if you do the composite loss to Ghana, to everybody else, that could be double that. All right. But the court ruled that because the unitization did not proceed or the directives did not materialize, they could not be entitled to that money. However, if Ghana continues with the directives, then that claims becomes actionable, and they will be entitled to make those claims. And they even corrected the expert of the claimant when he said that even though they estimate the claims to be around 9 million, they were not looking for 900 million. They were not looking for it, and the court says that could be wrong, because if they continue with the directive, then that claim becomes actionable. So I don't see why we are focusing on the damages that were not granted, because that was not the core of the issue. The fact also remains that those directives were not implemented. If they had implemented directives, for example, stopped E&I from operating, we will be paying money today. The damages would have been granted in court. So that is the basic thing. We lost the substantive case. No cost was awarded against us. But in principle, the fact that sustenance capital was impacted, what that means is that the additional investment that they needed to make to improve oil recovery, produce more oil, produce more gas, the potential to tie back another discovery, the advanced discovery, which they thought was oil. They could do a quick tie back, produce more oil for Ghana, and it was rejected by the ministry because they thought they were in court with them. All of that would have brought in revenue, but they didn't happen. And those are facts. You may not admit that there are costs, but there are costs. There are revenues forgone. And that if we had allowed them to bring back or tie back that discovery, we probably will be producing an additional 100,000 barrels of oil today, but we are not. So those are costs that we can stretch to actually examine the impact of these directives on Ghana. And then if you begin to look at all other investment potential or actual that were withdrawn, you would then escalate the cost to Ghana beyond those numbers.
All right, Ben, thanks very much for your insight on the issue. I think that there's a lot more clarity on the matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Ben Boakye, Executive Director of ISEP, on this issue.
Yeah, before I forget, after the show, I'd like to engage him. So if you could give me his number. But I think he's spoken well, and he's made some very positive remarks. And I'm not surprised. I think that, by and large, Ghana's capacity and competence in terms of the energy legal arbitration is low.
Why?
We are not at Nigeria's level, admittedly, because it's a new industry. We have to admit, it's a new industry for us. And how many lawyers are specialized in energy in this country?
There are quite a number now.
How many? I mean, now, yes.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm saying that our competence, and this even makes the case for us to really.
And they've come back.
Okay.
So the expertise exists.
Not
and the truth
Nigeria.
And the truth of the matter is that, of course, but the truth of the matter is that these are agreements that we drafted and we entered into on the basis of legal advice.
It's the interpretation.
It's Takashi.
I can appreciate that, but still, it comes back to my point that Ghana's competence in energy-related arbitrations were behind compared to Nigeria, compared to Texas. I mean, and that the fact remains. The jury is out there, but it will take time, and for the ordinary average lawyer to appreciate arbitrations related to
and
even our land litigation.
And Chief, not to catch you. The expertise globally, are available to us. Anytime
if we will tap into it.
Yes, anytime we have arbitration, for example, this case, we go and bring reputable law firms. They charge us top dollar per hour.
Wow, energy
and I'm saying they do that. And so this expertise, and I don't believe that we don't have it here, but the little I know.
No, compared
because
to,
even the companies involved, I know some of them. I know their operations. I know how much they spend
for legal
on
advice.
quality human resource internationally. Even Ghanaian companies.
I understand.
Some of them, I know the operations, and I know how much they spend for top-notch human resource in order to deal with this industry.
You should get me in there.
I can't accept the fact that...
the government side. The
yes,
government side
yes,
is
yes,
also
yes,
important.
True.
The government side. And that is where I'm coming from, that our competence.
I'm telling you, if you go to the energy ministry, and this is a matter that moved from Amewu to Napo. And in fact, it moved to the presidency. If even, I mean, the presidency is in a position to have all the expertise that it requires.
But not necessarily so.
No, I'm saying that there is evidence to suggest that the government has been employing the services of experts all across the globe.
So did they go against advice of the experts?
I don't know.
So that's why I'm saying that. Now, you see, the competence of even a leader to appreciate energy arbitrations, it will take time. And recently I was making a case that, you know, sometimes we maybe demand too much of our leaders without equipping them with the necessary knowledge, you know, to perform.
But we've given them the other. For example,
it's
the president who chooses who to appoint as advisors,
or an attorney general.
Yes.
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 Yes. So that is where I'm coming from. That, and you can argue this anywhere, and I can tell you that our attorney general's office is not fully equipped to handle the litigations related to energy matters as compared to Nigeria.
Fortunately,
as compared to Nigeria.
No, fortunately, they have the opportunity
to hire.
But and they have been hiring.
Still not as compared. And Doc, you have to admit that we are young guns when it comes to energy-related matters. Nobody can tell me that we compare to Omonaija when it comes to energy-related arbitrations and litigations. And look at even our own land issues. Last week, we were here talking about judges going to court about their land. No, be so. So we have some real, issues to deal with in strengthening our legal ambit or judiciary arm of government, and that even goes into other topics. But my key thing is that our justice system needs to be enhanced, needs to be enriched, more efficient in terms of delivery, and you know, they always say that they have intangible wisdom, and I really want to feel that, and the average Ghanaian needs to feel that intangible wisdom that our court system issues or deals to us. And I'm hoping that with some of the additions to the Supreme Court, maybe the number of cases that will be heard, the number of signed, opinions will be more, so that things that have been dragged for ages will see, some decisions made. And it's beautiful. I mean, I was just looking through the, documents, the actual document from the International Court of Tribunal, and thanks to Patrick Bama, he sent that to me. And if you go through how the narrative is fantastic. I was just looking through it, and that is what we need to mirror in our court system. Is lacking, is lacking. So I'm more for enhancing, our current state of affairs with regards to our justices.
I'm told that when the Supreme Court judges, the nominees, Dr. Richard Frimpong, is one of the top experts who's sought after everywhere.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So a country of 30 million, one is not.
No, he's not the only. I'm saying that it's just been brought.
But we need to.
But I know that the judiciary itself,
now that we've discovered
when this whole oil and gas thing happened, has been sending.
Now that we've discovered oil,
out
we need to really beef up our energy-related or knowledge in the energy.
In any case, you see, people can always rely on expertise. That is how come we allow, you see, in this case.
Yes. Well, it's a fantastic
all
read.
the cases that yes, all the cases that we go on arbitration, we go and hire all those lawyers. Even in when we said
it's highly likely Cabinet was
the money we said we spent on
Cabinet was misinformed.
The money we said we spent on Ejapa, recently was discovered that we have spent some millions on Ejapa. We were told that part of the money had to do with setting up of a secretariat and getting expertise and all that. We spend all those monies. If you go and check our expenses on legal fees, you see how much we spend on. But
you see, the decision-making process needs to be infused with more knowledge. And it's not just the expertise, because clearly the experts.
But if in litigation you go and spend top dollar to go and get experts, is it a brainer that in formulating a policy or taking a decision you need that expertise?
Unless maybe the strategy was to really delay this whole project. That too is a strategy.
Well, I think I'd like to thank you and Mr. Boachi for clearing the confusion for me. Because I saw two statements, one by the Attorney General, which is in front of me now, that Ghana has won the case, And then yesterday evening I watched television, and then the two companies came and said they had won the case. And I was totally confused. What is happening here?
The baby has been saved.
But having listened to Mr. Boachi, the issues have become very, very clear. And I'm just wondering why the Attorney General rushed to press to go and claim victory. Well, what is the purpose?
He was looking at just the monies not paid.
But is that what
except for the 200,000 euros which will be paid?
Is that what
cost the company?
Is that what he should be looking at?
So for all what has not happened, the further explorations,
forgone earnings.
Yeah, all that has not happened over the period. That one is not a loss to the state.
Forgone earnings.
There was the name of the oversight.
If you estimate,
was it the oversight body for oil and gas? They send us. They do a report every year.
OPEC.
No, Ghana.
Oh.
Those who track the expenditure on oil revenues.
Yeah.
So there's this body
with they are with GRA.
I've forgotten the name. They always come out with reports. They track the expenditure, the usage of oil revenue, and the data shows that our production keeps dwindling.
Yeah, I've seen
that.
Yeah,
the data shows that this thing keeps dwindling. Anyway,
so thanks a lot for at least clearing the confusion in my head.
I
now understand better what is happening, and I also have a proper appreciation of the problems that beset, the oil and gas industry in Ghana today. And bottom line, who was making these decisions?
Okay, so Anies told me Piak.
Yeah. But who was making these decisions?
Cabinet.
I
presume so.
Who was advising Cabinet on these matters?
And that's why I was saying that the Attorney General.
And who was advising the Attorney General?
And that is where I'm saying that our competence in the energy domain, admittedly.
You're doing everything possible, not to mention the energy minister, but that's okay.
Whom am I?
These are government decisions. Yeah. So like I said, it was Amehu and then Napo.
Whom am I?
Anyway, okay. So gentlemen, we'll leave it here. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, and thankfully, in the last 7.5 years, there's been no hunger in Ghana. Up next, Metro Sports.
Papa do abobra na wa wuba na wuba no abedu wade na odi wo tapade na re akoda nim na da kwa kufuado awu Dr. Bawumia ama na Ghana fo nyina wo se bakoro ya no wo afe na ho akono ya di Ghana ni ma ya dai eye your MPP growing a BC da yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛka bɔbɔ bi ayɛ adwumaden afiwei ame ahyɛ na nado da kɔ akufoɔ do ɛfiri sɛ ɔno kɔ a dɔtɔ bɛwearɛrɛn ɔbɛba ebi si wɔ ɛpipi mu da Ghana ha yɛkyekyi Ghana abakɔsɛm a President Kufuor de call retirement but we will start case we say if we say yɛkyekyi Ghana from 1957 ɛbɛka ne yɛnya president bi a waboa Ghana kyɛ na nado da kɔ akufoɔ